Lefty Merlin me.
Some stories are whispered only after the neon lights along Lower Broadway blink out for the night. They belong to the old guardians of country music, those rhinestone-clad troubadours whose larger-than-life voices were allegedly matched by even bigger, well, legends. Tonight we tiptoe through those saloon stories, separating fact from fanciful folklore, and tracing how the rumors grew until they became as immortal as the songs themselves. Stick around, because every verse in this tale opens another creaking backstage door, and behind each door waits a name you know, a rumor you might have heard, and a twist that will make you wonder just how wild the golden age really was. Back in the days before streaming statistics turned artists into pie charts, rumors were the real currency of Nashville. They slipped between radio dials and pool hall jukeboxes, passed from truck drivers to hairdressers, evolving just enough with every retelling to stay interesting. Fans traded them like baseball cards. I heard this. My cousin swore that. A friend of a stagehand promised the story was true. The more salacious the detail, the quicker it traveled. By the time a rumor reached a big city newspaper, it had already played half a dozen county fairs. Yet even in a scene famous for backstage shortcuts to fame, coke-filled binges, shattered hotel TVs, rows of empty whiskey bottles, nothing captured imagination quite like the suggestion that a beloved crooner carried secret ammunition below the belt. Industry veterans say those stories were part diversionary marketing, part playful locker room bravado, and part genuine awe. Regardless of origin, they stuck, and the legends grew alongside the record deals. Our trail begins in the smoky wings of the Grand Ole Opry, where Lefty Frizzell supposedly tuned his guitar while sharing a wink with every hopeful backstage assistant. Insiders said his swagger wasn't confined to the stage, and that his self-confidence grew louder after every encore. Buck Owens, meanwhile, kept a squeaky clean public image, yet Capitol Records staff would joke that the Bakersfield sound wasn't the only thing making the walls shake. They hinted at late-night rehearsals that never involved a microphone. Even Porter Wagoner, famous for those sparkling nudie suits and his close friendship with Dolly Parton, found himself caught in the crossfire of gossip. Some claimed his silhouette looked padded, while others swore the tailor merely followed the exact measurements Porter provided. Whatever the truth, fans kept staring, and ticket sales climbed higher. Lefty's fellow musicians used to place friendly bets on how many love letters he would collect in a single night. One lighting tech claimed he saw 3 different hotel keys tucked into the brim of Frizzell's hat after a sold-out Memphis gig. As for Buck, his bandroom door stayed shut longer than most, emerging only when the crowd's chant grew too loud to ignore. Those who peeked inside reported laughter, harmonies, and occasional lacy evidence draped across a Fender amplifier. Porter, on the other hand, played the long game. He let the rhinestones sparkle and allowed onlookers to fill in the blanks. Some speculated Dolly knew the truth but kept it quiet out of mutual respect, or perhaps because the mystery sold records for them both. Slide a little farther down the timeline and you'll bump into Conway Twitty. With a voice like velvet and lyrics dripping with longing, he became Nashville's original heartbreak hotelier. Between concerts, whole truck stop diners would buzz about whispered sightings of him leaving a dressing room with lipstick still fresh on his collar. One persistent rumor claimed a hotel housekeeping supervisor had to replace an entire mattress after a particularly exuberant tour stop. When Conway's duets with Loretta Lynn stoked chatter about chemistry that felt too real, both stars brushed it off as theatrical magic. But as they say in Music City, if the crowd keeps clapping, you don't stop the song. On the road, Conway's tour bus was nicknamed the Pleasure Cruiser, a moniker he pretended to hate yet never ordered repainted. A former driver remembers rest stop vendors waving as they approached, already tapping their own thighs in jest. One night in Tulsa, an air conditioning failure forced the band to prop open every window. The next morning, a local paper ran a cheeky headline: Twitty's heat wave melts fans. Loretta Lynn, forever the professional, laughed off the rumors in interviews, saying, "Conway's just a good hugger." Observers noted her smile betrayed a hint of secret amusement. Jerry Lee Lewis, the piano-pounding wild child, crisscrossed the same roads as country royalty and left a trail of raised eyebrows wherever he parked the tour bus. Tales circulated of him signing autographs in the lobby wearing nothing but a leopard print robe that wouldn't stay closed. One ex-roadie swore Jerry Lee kept a measuring tape in his briefcase, not for stage setups, but for party tricks that usually ended with uproarious applause. Whether that's true or a motel myth, the story lit up radio call-in shows for decades. Jerry Lee's entourage thrived on outrageous dares. According to a bar manager in Baton Rouge, the killer once bet an entire pool room he could balance a shot glass on his secret microphone while kicking out a rocking rendition of Great Balls of Fire. The manager claims the glass didn't fall, though the truth may have tumbled somewhere during 40 years of retelling. Another story describes a New Orleans after-party where Jerry Lee burst into an elevator packed with tourists, flashed a mischievous grin, and announced, "Who wants an autograph in a place the sun don't shine?" Too stunned to answer, the doors closed, the elevator creaked up 4 floors, and when it opened, he darted away, cackling. Yet the most telling part of these tales might be how fiercely insiders guard them. Wardrobe supervisors still exchange sly glances when interviewers ask about special sizing. Bus drivers, hardened by endless highways, grow oddly sentimental, recounting midnight stops where fans pressed handwritten notes against tinted windows. Publicists spin polite laughter, but their nervous eyes betray knowledge of chapter and verse. Even vintage instrument dealers claim songs hold residual energy, swearing certain guitars practically hum with the bravado of their owners long after the strings fall silent. Whether that testimony is poetic salesmanship or genuine sixth sense perception, the myth persists. Some collectors refuse to sell accessories that once belonged to our legendary list unless the buyer promises to keep them in a temperature-controlled vault. For historical integrity, they say, though whispers suggest the items carry value for more personal reasons. One famous auction even listed a leather tour belt from the 70s with a note reading, "Believed to be custom cut." The winning bid was triple the estimate. The outlaw movement cranked the volume even higher. Waylon Jennings stormed through the 70s with a Telecaster, a rebellious grin, and rumors as long as an interstate. Bandmates joked he only carried one rule on tour: no bragging, let the headlines do that. When federal agents burst into a Nashville studio looking for coke mailed under Waylon's name, the singer allegedly flushed the evidence and cracked a grin big enough to start its own urban legend. People figured anyone that fearless probably flaunted confidence in every department. Merle Haggard, equally rowdy but more understated, once quipped to a journalist, "I don't measure success in inches," a line that sounded innocent until a road manager laughed a little too loudly. And David Allan Coe? He practically carved his reputation on provocative album lyrics. Fans argued the bravado had to come from somewhere very real. Waylon's brush with the law became a textbook outlaw tale, but the aftermath backstage was even juicier. One producer claimed the flushed package resurfaced as a running joke. Crew members made papier-mâché replicas of the infamous parcel and hid them in each other's luggage. Merle Haggard joined in, leaving a note on Waylon's guitar case. Some packages are best hand-delivered. The two laughed so hard they nearly missed their next set. David Allan Coe, not to be outdone, printed a t-shirt reading "Big Deal, Prove It," and wore it to soundcheck. Fans, oblivious to the private banter, just saw legends living up to their brand. Johnny Cash strode across this landscape like a dark preacher. Before love tamed him, he was a pill-popping wanderer who juggled late-night bar fights and sunrise studio sessions. Magazine profiles hinted at secret rendezvous and backstage pews of rural theaters, ironically holy ground for rebellious acts. Crew members whispered that the man in black's confidence eclipsed the stage lights, and although June Carter eventually locked the ring of fire around his heart, earlier flames had already forged sizable tales. Hank Williams Jr. carried on that rambunctious torch, throwing rowdy bus parties where broken shot glasses clinked underfoot. A backup singer once joked that if you could survive a Hank Jr. after-party, you earned a diploma in advanced biology. When Cash toured Germany in the 60s, local gossip pages dubbed him Der Schwarze Ries, the Black Giant, claiming female fans lined the hotel hallway, hoping for a midnight hymn. Back in the States, he once accepted an award while sporting a grin so sly that a TV host later joked, the trophy wasn't the only thing weighing heavy in Johnny's hands. As for Hank Jr., he hosted bonfire gatherings where guitars doubled as percussion and rumors suggested skinny-dipping contests under moonlight. Survivors of those gatherings rarely shared full details. The silence only deepened the myth. Kenny Rogers arrived with a gambler's grin and stories that slipped between silky love ballads. One legend claims an arena janitor stumbled upon Kenny's private dressing room mirror where a cheeky note read, "Objects may appear larger than life." Whether the note was fan-made mischief or Kenny's own punchline remains unknown, but the photo of that mirror made its way into crew scrapbooks. Charlie Pride, graceful and reserved on stage, silently built intrigue by never addressing rumors outright. The absence of denial became an answer all its own, stirring more whispers than a backstage megaphone ever could. Don Williams, the gentle giant, showcased quiet confidence that lured fans in droves. Some claimed his nickname described multiple dimensions. Kenny's charisma landed him roles in movies and TV specials, but insiders swear the real theater unfolded off camera. During a Houston charity gala, an auctioneer jokingly offered a date with Kenny. Dinner sold in seconds, but whispers claim the winning bidder received a bonus encore no tabloid ever printed. Charlie Pride's tours included strict rules against after-show interruptions, yet certain pass holders reported his dressing room door cracked open at 2 a.m. accompanied by soft laughter, and Don Williams, ever the gentleman, once commented after an especially enthusiastic meet and greet, "Sometimes you shake a hand and feel a pulse racing like a backbeat. That's when you know the song connected, in ways you'll never read in Billboard." Fast forward a few decades and the mullet era dawns with Billy Ray Cyrus. Fresh off a headline-grabbing divorce and paparazzi-fueled rebound romance, Billy finds his personal life trending again. Digital tabloids compare present-day revelations to 90s gossip about backstage encounters that allegedly stretched longer than an achy-breaky heart radio edit. Even now, every new relationship headline resurrects the old barroom debates. Was his swagger pure marketing, or did it have deeper roots? Meanwhile, Ronnie Milsap remains an underrated romantic mystery. Although practically chained to a piano on stage, he supposedly found subtle ways to charm anyone within earshot, creating rumors that traveled faster than sound engineers could roll their cables. Modern Nashville PR teams try to smother juicy talk before it hits social media, but the internet recycles legends faster than any campfire can burn them. Billy Ray's recent Instagram post with a certain British actress reignited barbershop debates that had cooled since the late 90s. Comment sections exploded with gifs of swinging wrecking balls, while old road crew members popped up to confirm that, yes, the rumors had legs, and maybe more. Meanwhile, Ronnie Milsap's fans exchange coded messages on fan forums, referencing the seventh chord, whenever the conversation turns to, hidden talents. Even in the algorithm era, euphemism remains an art form. And yes, plenty of skeptics roll their eyes, insisting the only thing bigger than these stars' alleged attributes was the marketing machine behind them. But listen closer at any after-hours songwriter round, those clandestine circles fueled by bourbon and bragging rights, and you'll hear seasoned pickers swear on scratched vinyl that they witnessed undeniable proof. They'll describe flashlight-illuminated moments on darkened buses, or tales of nurses smirking during routine checkups before daylight stadium shows. They recount uproarious pranks gone sideways, like the time a wardrobe assistant stitched an extra-long zipper into a pair of stage pants as a joke, only to have the joke turn oddly prophetic. Such testimonies may never appear in authorized biographies, yet they travel from gig to gig embedded inside chord changes. That oral tradition is to country music what tall sails were to pirate lore, a vehicle that carries adventure far beyond reach of official record. Academic researchers recently tried to quantify how rumors like these affect an artist's longevity. Their study, tucked inside an obscure pop culture journal, compared streaming spikes after gossip-heavy anniversaries to those after ordinary press releases. The results? Songs attached to salacious legends saw up to a 30% jump in monthly plays. The team concluded that curiosity drives rewinds just as powerfully as nostalgia. They even held focus groups where volunteers admitted clicking vintage performances only after stumbling upon racy message board threads. Record label executives feigned surprise at the findings, but internal memos leaked soon after showing strategic plans to curate and monetize legacy rumors. In other words, the industry knows precisely how much we crave a juicy subplot. That same study included an archival dig through fan letters, handwritten pages filled with perfume, glitter, and sometimes measurements penciled in the margins. One particularly bold correspondent addressed Waylon Jennings directly. "If half of what they say is true, drop me a postcard. We'll need a bigger mailbox." The researchers politely redacted the zip code. Industry sociologists claim these stories offer a rebellious fantasy, a harmless release valve for a genre that often preaches moral uprightness from the pulpit of three-chord truth. Listeners want to believe their heroes are both down-home relatable and impossibly mythic, virtuous enough to pen gospel tunes, yet daring enough to leave matchbooks full of phone numbers in the glove box. Psychologists call it selective amplification. Label executives simply call it free marketing. Every rumor is a billboard nobody has to pay for, and the artists, some shake their heads, some lean into the mischief, and a few polish it into pure gold. In that sense, the legends about lengthy blessings mirror the songs themselves, colorful, larger than life, and engineered to echo. Look past the chart numbers and platinum plaques, and you'll find Tom Paul Glaser pouring another round for the Outlaws, Earl Thomas Conley practicing low-key smoothness, and Red Sovine reciting trucker ballads that made long-haul drivers blush. Each rumor overlaps like verses in an old-time fiddle breakdown. Individually, they might feel outrageous, but together they form a tapestry of backstage bravado, southern charm, and myth-making that Nashville practically runs on. Even skeptics admit the city's most powerful amplifier is gossip itself. Once a rumor feeds the echo chamber, no sound engineer alive can mute it. So, after all these whispered confessions, backstage giggles, and barstool testimonies, what do we really have? Maybe just a reminder that legends in country music are measured by more than record sales. They're stitched from tall tales swapped on midnight tour buses, from inside jokes embroidered into flashy suits, from a wink shared under flickering neon. Whether every word is gospel truth or magnified memory, the rumors keep the melody alive. And as long as the stories keep growing, the music will never end. After all, a good song makes you tap your feet, but a juicy rumor makes you lean in, eager for the next encore. So the next time a vintage ballad drifts from your radio and you catch yourself humming along, remember the unseen forces that still vibrate between those notes. Backstage laughter, daring one-liners, secret handshakes, and tall tales measured not in inches, but in decades of retelling. Country music thrives because every twang carries a hint of mischief. The true legacy may never be confirmed, but the fact we're still talking proves one thing: in the grand theater of American storytelling, rumor is the ticket that never expires. And if even a sliver of these anecdotes is accurate, then the old saying holds: everything's bigger in the South, especially the stories. Until someone rolls tape on proof, we're left with a chorus of possibilities that grow sweeter and stranger with every encore. And honestly, isn't that the real reason we hit replay one more time before the night turns quiet?